Hey my glam girls, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea and today we are talking about some Pat McGrath products. So I have all three of the new quads along with the new highlighter. So I'm going to be giving you 4 eye looks. I know, 4 eye looks. I don't usually do 4, but we're going to do 4 different eye looks throughout this video, some swatch comparisons, and I'm also going to let you know my thoughts because this is different than last year. Some of us have already expressed that. We've already seen some of these in action. So we're gonna walk through all of that. And then of course, I'll give you my final thoughts at the end. So stay tuned for all of that. But before we get into the video, I just wanna say thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend some time with me. If this is your first time here, I would love for you to stick around and subscribe to my channel and join the Glam Girl Squad. And if you are a returning subscriber, well, thank you so much for deciding to come back and support my channel with all of your likes and your comments. They all truly do mean a lot to me. So let's get into this video. So outfit of the day is this beautiful dress, and this is from Shein. I actually got this dress like 2 years ago. So if I can find it, I will link it down below. If I can't find it, I'm so sorry. But of course, we've got to do our outfit of the day. I like this dress because it's very form-fitting, but it also is very comfortable and it's very fluid and stretchy. So clearly 2 years ago, I was not with child, but this dress definitely does stretch and accommodate my bump. And my bump. It's very comfortable and it's also quite thick. So this is a really good dress for the upcoming winter months. Comes to about my knees. And it's just a cute turtleneck type dress. I love this dress and I always wear it in the winter time because once again, it is a little warmer, keeps me cozy and all of that good stuff. And then my necklace is from Amazon. So I love the choker and pendant combination here. There are actually 2 different necklaces that you can buy together as a combo. And it was like $13 and some change. I think it's a cute little detailed necklace. This is just a pendant right here. And then this is the gold choker like chain. So you can actually wear these separately if you wanted to, or you can wear them together. So that I will definitely link down below because I did buy this one recently. Okay, into the video. We've got 3 new quads from Mother Pat. Here is 1 Risque Rose. Here's 2 Flora Fantasia. It's the second one here. And the third one is Interstellar Icon, which is what I actually have on my eyes right now. I've done 2 different eye looks with this particular one. So first, let's address really quickly the shipping. So I ordered these products on October the 9th and I got them this past Thursday, which was October the 22nd, I believe. Yes. So shipping did take a little bit long. And I feel like that's just, unfortunately, the biggest issue with Pat McGrath is the shipping takes a while. And in all reality, if you think about it, it's not terribly long, but it is long for a brand that we also could ship a little faster. So that's my shipping story, but everything came packaged well, nothing was broken. I did receive my highlighter with my palette, so I was happy about that. So that's it with the shipping. I definitely would challenge Pat McGrath to, work on that, improve the shipping, or at least improve your communication with the shipping. Now, onto the products. I'm gonna pull my hair back. I have on the majority of my makeup. I do not have on blush and highlight, so that's what we're going to apply in this video. But before we get into that, let's go over some of the details of the palette. So I'm going to link down below Kinky Sweat's video. I did watch a little bit of her video and I think that she has some really good content within her video, but I wanted to get some insight on these palettes just because I know she knows Pat's formula like the back of her hand. So from her video, I did learn that we do have 1 repeat shade and then we do have a new formula in one of these quads. So let's start off with Risque Rose. So in Risque Rose, we actually do have a new formula, which is called Rose Rebellion. And I'm gonna just tell y'all right now, it is stunning. The formula of this new, what she describes this as a creamy matte, it is stunning. And like, I was quite blown away by this particular formula. I like this. I want to see more of this formula in future palettes from Mother. Gonna say that now. In this particular palette, Interstellar Icon, we do have a repeat shade right here. Nope, the repeat shade is right here. It's called Blue Blood. This particular shade is in the Mothership 4 Decadence palette. And then we have Flora Fantasia right here. And I know that Alicia said that this palette gives us more spring vibes because you have more pastels within this palette. But when I did my eye look, I definitely saw like the wintry, icy type of feel that I think Pat was going for this particular palette. Looking at it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is definitely like spring and Easter eggs and all of the above. But this particular shade right here, which is called Lavender Blue, it is so... it's gorgeous on the eyes. And it's this shade right here that gives you that like icy, like wintry type of feel to the eye look. So let's do some quick swatches while we're here. So here we have this creamy matte in Rose Rebellion, and it is so smooth and creamy. Like this is literally a creamy matte type of formula, and it is beautiful for blush as well. Then we have Lavin Darling, which is so beautiful. You've got like this silver lavender shift to it. This is definitely a shadow that works best with either your finger or a glitter glue. But I did use it with a brush in the demo and it worked just fine as well. Mink Noir, which is a more standard matte. And I'm just gonna add another coat of this particular one. Okay guys, so I just realized that my camera cut off while I was filming, and so you did not finish seeing me do all of the swatches of the Risque Rose palette. So these are the shades of Risque Rose. So we have these shades right here. And then I went on to do some swatch comparisons. So that's why we have extra shades on the arm. So this is a comparison of Extreme Mahogany from Divine Rose 1 compared to Mink Noir. And so you can see that Mink Noir is definitely warmer and it's a deeper brown than Extreme Mahogany. And then I went on to swatch and compare Rose Seduction from Divine Rose 2 compared to Rose Rebellion. And so first of all, Rose Seduction is a shimmer, whereas Rose Rebellion is a creamy matte. And then in terms of the intensity of color, we get more intensity of that hot pink shade from Rose Seduction than we do from Rose Rebellion. So here we have swatch Flora Fantasia, and we have Hypnotique right here, Lavender Blue, Iridescent Pink, and then we have Lotus Paradise at the end. And this palette is so pretty, but this shade right here called Lavender Blue, this gives me wintry holiday feels. And once again, like I said, once you see me doing the eye look, I feel like the eye look looks quite wintry and like holiday appropriate, if that makes sense. Now, doing some swatch comparisons of this one, I am in Divine Rose 2 and looking at Naked Blush and wanting to compare that to Lotus Paradise. And they're definitely not the same shade, but they do look like they are similar. Obviously, Naked Blush is deeper in tone and it is pulling more of like a coral-ish shade, whereas Lotus Paradise is looking more like a salmon pink type of shade. I'm actually going to apply Lotus Paradise as a blush today so we can see that on the face as well. And then looking at the Ritualistic Rose palette right here, I want to compare these two shades right here next to Iridescent Orchid. So these are the two shades from Ritualistic Rose next to Iridescent Orchid. And as you can see, these two shades from Ritualistic Rose are definitely different. First of all, different in formula. We have that Blitz Astral formula compared to the shimmer formula here. But shade-wise as well, they're definitely different. No similarities there. Last but definitely not least, we have Interstellar Icon. And we have Golden Paradise, which is this beautiful pinky champagne type of color. Then we have Hypnotique, which is just a gorgeous duochrome. I'm hoping you all can see that shift there. We have a repeat shade, Blue Blood, which is also found in Mothership 4. And then Divine Dahlia, which is stunning. And these are the shadows that I have on my eye. And once again, I'll insert a clip showing you all how I created both of these eye looks because they're slightly different. So of course, we've got to compare Blue Blood in Mothership 4 to the Blue Blood in this particular palette, just to see if they are the same in terms of shade and formula. And yes, they look quite the same. I want to say that Blue Blood in the quad is slightly almost lighter. It's not as rich as this Blue Blood in the Mothership 4, but they are repeat shades, or they're supposed to be repeat shades. But I don't know, I feel like my swatch from the Mothership 4 palette is just richer and more in depth in color than this particular one is. I do not have the other Blitz Astral Quad. I forgot the name of it, but it's the one that has like that beautiful teal color and green color. I don't have that one, because I would have definitely swatched it compared to this color here. But Alicia Kinky Sweat has that one, and she did do a swatch comparison of that. So like I said, I'll have her channel linked down below so that you can take a look at those swatches to get a feel for that. But I do have this one. I think this one is called Iconic Illumination, and I do want to compare this shade right here. Formula wise, yes, they're different. This is the Blitz Astral formula, but I want to compare it to this particular shade right here. This is one of my favorite shades in that palette. And so yes, they are different in terms of shades. This one is definitely pulling more champagne gold, where this one is pulling more of like a pink champagne-ish color. So they're definitely not repetitive in shades there. So I was expecting the quads to look and feel like the quads last year. Just to give you a quick overview, this is what the outside of the quads from last year looked like. This is what the back looks like. And in the front, here is Flora Fantasia. And from the front, they look very similar. Dare you say almost identical. The back though, we've got some differences. We don't have this gold back with engraving like we do this one. This one is going to have a sticker that has all of the shades, and then this black shiny back, and then the writing is not ingrained in the palette. And with this one, we got an insert card to let us know what the shades were. Personally, I like this packaging better. I like the insert of the card better versus having the black background with a sticker here. I just don't like it. When I think Pat McGrath palettes, I think very luxe and luxurious, and for me, I will pay the extra money for the luxurious packaging. So I do wish the packaging were the same, even down to the plastic. The plastic on the new quads it's not as refined or as polished. Like when I rub my finger along here, this packaging definitely feels more rough than the smooth black packaging here. Let's get into this highlighter. Now the highlight, on another hand, I could literally kill somebody because this joker is heavy and it is luxe. It is all of the luxurious type of feel, and I love it. So it's interesting that she chose to put so much luxury in the highlighter. The differences in price between the quad from last year and the quad from this year, it's a $7 difference. The one from last year is $65, the ones this year are $58. Opening up the highlighter though, we get this highlighter in the shade Champagne Gold, and it is just beautiful. I mean, I don't think anybody can deny how pretty this particular highlighter is. And here is the highlight here. The formula is quite smooth, and there's no glitter chunks or anything. You just have a smooth shimmer formula. Let's go ahead on and put the highlighter on. First, I'm gonna put on the blush from Flora Fantasia. So I'm going to pop on Lotus Paradise here, and I'm taking my Surratt highlighter brush, and we're going to just pop this right here on the cheeks. And this is just as beautiful as I thought it would be. Beautiful. This is a matte shade. If you do see any shimmer, it's probably left over from a little bit of highlight, but this shade is matte. There's no shimmer in it, but it's beautiful as a blush. let's go into this highlighter. So taking the same brush, flipping it over, and ooh, that's pretty. That is pretty. I really like the shade of this particular highlighter. This is definitely a highlighter that you can apply more subtly or more subtle. Or you can build the intensity to your liking. So I am applying it more subtle. So I really do like this highlighter. It's very, very finely milled, so it just, I feel like meshes well into the skin. I do not think it exaggerates any type of texture. Highlighter is always going to emphasize texture, but I don't think it would further exaggerate it, simply because it's definitely more fine and it's a very smooth, finely milled powder. I think it looks beautiful, and it gives like more of like a lit from within type of glow instead of like, you know, a chunky highlighter that's just sitting on top of the face. I know for a fact that once I spray my face, this is just gonna sink even further into the skin and just look stunning. So I'm gonna apply some Lila Be a Glow Face Mist, then blend this into the skin. Okay, so let's go into each one of these palettes and get into the demonstration. So let's start off with Risque Rose. That's the first palette that I used. So I went in with this matte shade right here called Mink Noir, and I went on ahead and used that on the outer edge of the eye, smoked out that outer edge, and then blended it into the crease. Then I went in with this beautiful shade right here, Rose Rebellion, and like I said, this creamy matte formula is just beautiful. I mean, I need for Pat to use this in future palettes. It's so much softer than her traditional mattes, so much more creamy, blends very well into the eye, and it's just beautiful. Then I topped that with this beautiful shade called Lavin Darling, and looking at it in the pan, it just looks like a silver, but as you go to shift it, you see that lavender type of look to it, and so I thought it would have been very pretty to top this on top of Rose Rebellion. And then I placed Life on Mars along the inner corner of the eye and also the lower lash line. And then for the lower lash line, I went back in with Pink Noir. I also went in with Rose Rebellion, and then, like I said, Life on Mars to finish off that particular look. And I really do like this quad. I think it worked very well, and like I said, this is a color scheme that I really enjoy, so I know this is one that I would travel with if I knew, especially like I want to go for a pink look. That's definitely something I would reach for again. The second look we're doing with Flora Fantasia, and I started off with Lotus Paradise and blended that into the crease, and this shade blended so beautifully. As you saw it, it blends well into the cheeks as well, so this is a beautifully formulated matte shade. I really enjoyed that one. Then I went in with Lavender Blue, and let me tell you, this icy goodness, that's what it is. It's so pretty. Like, it did not need any assistance. I felt like it needed to just have its own moment, and it's just stunning. I love the duochrome colors in this particular one, and even though, like I said, this palette looks pastel, I feel like this shade right here brings us like that winter hue and gives it more of like a holiday feel. Then I went in with Iridescent Orchid. I'm like looking at the names trying to make sure I'm saying them right. And I used my finger to apply this one. Beautiful in its formulation. And I think this shadow definitely worked better with the finger. I initially tried to apply it with a brush, and I felt like it needed my finger. So if you are someone who prefers to use a brush, I would suggest wetting this or using some type of glitter glue so that it can definitely just like pack onto the lid and adhere there. And then for the inner corner, I went in with this shade right here, Utopia, and this is just a gorgeous shade as well. So this, I surprisingly really enjoyed using this one. For the lower lash line, I went in, I want to say, with Iridescent Orchid and then Lavender Blue, I want to say. Those were the shades that I used. And then I also smoked out the lower lash line with Lotus Paradise as well. So even though this particular palette may not scream winter, and it does look like it's a pastel palette. Like I said, this particular shade right here just, in my opinion, gave me the wintry feels, and I really enjoyed using this one. Lastly, we go into these two eye looks that I have created on my eyes. This is Interstellar Icon, and these are the two looks that I have on my eye. So I started out using Blue Blood, yes, on the outer corner of the eye, smoked that out and blended it into the crease. And then I wanted to apply this particular shade right here, which is Divine Dahlia, and it's gorgeous. This is like such a beautiful, like smoky, kind of one and done eye look. Alicia put this one on, and the way she blended it out, you saw to perfection. It could just be like a one and done eyeshadow type of look. Then I went into Hypnotique, and I used that to apply on this lid right here. And this shade is just, she's beautiful. I mean, she's, the duochromes of like the blues and the purples is just stunning. So I put that on the lid, and these two shades right here definitely feel like they apply very well with your finger. If you wanted to use a brush, wet your brush, or add some type of adhering just to allow for it to stick and kind of glide across the lid. But these two shades are stunning. I went in with a little bit of Divine Dahlia, and I used that to smoke out the outer edge of the eye. I took Hypnotique and I put it in the inner corner of this eye as well. And then for the lower lash line, I used a little bit of Blue Blood, smoked it out along here, and kind of brought it in a little bit. Hypnotique on the inner corner of the eye, and I also used Hypnotique here, Divine Dahlia right along here as well. And then for the inner corner, I used Golden Polaris for both inner corner eyes, and then also the inner corner of this particular eye. Threw on some lashes. The lashes that I'm wearing in both looks, or all four looks I should say, are from Salon Perfect, and they are the pre-permed push-up lashes in the medium curl natural lift. And then in terms of my base products, except for like blush and highlight, my base products are the same through all of the video clips. For the first look, I went in with Risque Rose, and I used Rose Rebellion as a blush, and I just cannot stop talking about this particular shade. It is so beautiful. So you see me applying it as a blush. It applies so smoothly to the cheeks. And then I topped the blush with Life on Mars, and I mean, it just gives such a beautiful highlight to the cheeks. So this shade right here could also be used as a highlight itself, but I wanted to use, like I said, another shade as a highlight. But loved these two shades together as blush. Like, I will be doing that again for sure. And then in Flora Fantasia, like I said before, I used the shade Lotus Paradise as a highlight for my first look. And I'm kind of blown away by these palettes. I think I was initially a little disappointed when I realized that the packaging of the quads was not the same as the packaging last year, like this one. And then also when I realized that there were no Blitz Astral shades in it, I was just like, oh, really? Like, I want my Blitz Astral shades. And so I was quite disappointed, and I went into this like, the packaging of the quality is lower. Does that mean that the quality of the shadows will be lower as well? And I'm very happy to say that they are not. Now, if you are going into these palettes expecting like Blitz Astral formula, then you are going to be disappointed because none of them have them. None of them do. But if you are simply going to use the shadows and evaluate the quality of the shadows, you have to give it to Pat. She really did a very beautiful job formulating these shadows. I personally don't feel like there were any duds. The mattes that I used blended very well. They weren't patchy. They weren't skipping on the eye. And the shimmers, they came to play. Like, they came to perform. And they're beautiful. Like, I initially thought I was going to make this video and kind of go, I'll toss the palettes in the back of the drawer because I'm not going to use them again. No ma'am. I am very blown away, and I'm very glad that I do have these palettes and these quads. I definitely would encourage Pat to take the extra $7 if she can and put it back into the packaging, because that is my biggest disappointment with these quads, is the packaging. This highlight is beautiful. It is very beautiful. I don't think this highlight is a need though, because when I applied it, I definitely felt like I have some highlights like this. And to keep this video from being extremely long, I'm going to create another video doing some comparisons of other highlights with this particular one. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to try to get this one up, get that video up next week. But I do feel like this highlighter is beautiful. I'm very happy that I have it. And if you're interested in it, I say yes, get it. It's a beautiful highlight. I think it just looks so, just like I said, lit from within on the skin. But it's not a need, you know, it's not a highlight that you can't find elsewhere with the same type of formula. Kind of looks like a Milani highlighter, doesn't it? Just like the pattern of this particular highlight. But it's gorgeous, and like I said, I would recommend it, especially if you're looking at it and you're eyeing it and you're fine with, you know, the price of it. I would recommend it because this is definitely one that I would use again. So all in all, I am very happy with my purchase. So those are my thoughts on the quads and the highlighters. Let me know what you think down below in regards to the palettes and the highlighter. Are you gonna get them? If you have them, do you like them? What are your thoughts on them? And yeah, that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.